Welcome to the HFY Galaxy Tales. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a new story from HFY Galaxy Tales, where humanity always finds a way. He battlefield bargain. The moon's surface shook with every blast. Flames rose from the wreckage of tanks and troop carriers. The war between humans and the Krovian Empire had turned this small gray moon into a graveyard. Corporal Alex Carter crawled through the dust, his left arm bleeding, his ears still ringing from the explosion that had destroyed his squad. Smoke and fire blurred the horizon. Through the haze, Alex saw movement, not human, a tall figure, staggered between the wrecked machines, silver armor cracked and scorched. It was a Krovian warrior, one of the enemy's most feared fighters, even through the helmet's damage. Alex could see the glow of crimson eyes. She was breathing heavily, almost collapsing, her movements slow. Instinct told Alex to raise his rifle and finish her. The Krovian had killed hundreds of humans like him. But then he noticed the blood. A dark metallic blue liquid was pouring from a wound in her side. She pressed a clawed hand against it, but it kept flowing. Her kind would normally survive only with their own blood, unless, in rare cases, human blood could keep them alive for a short time. She dropped to one knee. Her voice came out in a low, broken tone, speaking in her language. Alex didn't understand the words, but the meaning was clear. She was asking for help. Her eyes locked with his, and for a moment, he saw no enemy there, only desperation. Alex's radio crackled in his ear. "Carter, report. Kill any Krovian you find, no exceptions." The order was sharp, final, but Alex hesitated. The woman before him was dying. If he walked away, she'd be gone in minutes. If he helped, he'd be breaking orders and risking everything. He dropped his rifle and moved closer. "I don't know if this will work," he said quietly, pulling a field transfusion kit from his pack. Her eyes followed his every movement. He attached the tubes, connecting his arm to hers. The machine began pumping, his warm red blood mixing with her alien veins. At first, nothing happened. Then, her breathing grew steadier. The glow in her eyes brightened, and her claws flexed. With new strength, she looked at him as if studying every detail of his face. For a moment, Alex thought he saw gratitude. Then, without warning, the ground shook. Heavy footsteps approached. Through the smoke, enemy soldiers appeared, Krovian troopers in black armor, weapons raised. Alex reached for his rifle. But the warrior he had saved moved faster. With a roar, she ripped a blade from her belt and charged. Her movements were like lightning, cutting down the first two soldiers before they could fire. The others turned to shoot Alex, but she blocked the shots with her armor and struck them down with deadly precision. The battlefield fell silent except for the crackle of distant fires. She turned back to him, her breathing still heavy but steady now. Slowly, she removed her helmet, revealing sharp, regal features beneath. Her skin was a deep gray blue, marked by faint silver scars. Her voice, now clearer, spoke in broken human language. "You gave blood to enemy," she said, almost as if testing the words. Alex only nodded, still catching his breath. She stepped closer, her crimson eyes locking onto his Krovian debt. "Is never forgotten," she said, before he could ask what she meant. An explosion shook the ground behind them. More human forces were closing in from one side, more Krovian from the other. Without hesitation, she grabbed his arm, pulling him toward the burning wreckage. "We leave now," she ordered, and in that moment, Alex realized he had just bound himself to a warrior who could either be his savior or his greatest danger. Debt of honor. The escape from the battlefield had been a blur. Alex remembered smoke, gunfire, and the feeling of being pulled through chaos by a warrior twice his size. When they finally stopped, they were deep inside a shattered canyon, far from the fighting. The alien warrior dropped to one knee, breathing hard but steady. Her crimson eyes studied him with a strange intensity. "You gave your blood," she said slowly, her voice low but steady. "In Krovian law, blood given means life owed." Alex frowned, still gripping his rifle. "Life owed." She nodded. "You saved me. Now I am bound to you, until debt is paid." Her name was Cerise Farron, commander in the Krovian elite guard. Her people saw the blood oath as sacred, unbreakable, once given. It could not be ignored without dishonor worse than death. Alex didn't fully believe her at first, but she proved her words quickly. That night, they camped in the shadows of the canyon. A small fire burned between them, the cold air carrying the distant sounds of battle. When human scouts came searching, Cerise was the one who heard them first. She moved silently, ambushing them before they could even see Alex. When she returned, she dropped their comms device at his feet. "No one will find you tonight," she said, her tone almost protective. Days passed as they moved through war zones and ruined settlements. Cerise kept to her word. She fought off raiders, scavengers, even other Krovian patrols. Alex was still unsure why. Finally, as they rested in the remains of an abandoned supply depot, he asked, "You could have left me. Why keep risking yourself?" Her eyes met his without hesitation. "You are my blood bond. Your death would be my failure." Alex didn't know what to say. In the human military, debts were repaid with medals or a handshake. In her world, it was something far deeper, almost sacred. But their fragile alliance did not go unnoticed. On the fourth day, a coded human transmission caught Alex's attention. He cracked it open and felt his chest tighten. The Earth Defense Force had labeled him a deserter. His image was circulating with the words, "Traitor, do not approach alive." Cerise saw the message, her face unreadable. "They hunt you now," she said simply. "Your people see only an enemy at your side." That night, they stopped at a neutral trade station orbiting a dead planet. It was one of the few places in the sector where humans and aliens walked side by side without immediate violence. Inside the dim, crowded bazaar, Cerise bought strange alien rations while Alex scanned the crowd for threats. Her armor drew attention, especially the mark on her chest plate. A crest of the Krovian Royal Guard. Even here, that symbol commanded respect and fear. As they sat in a quiet corner, she spoke again. "My place is not only on the battlefield. In my world, I speak to rulers, to those who command fleets." She leaned forward slightly, her tone sharper. "Your blood is in me now. That mark is forever. If you come with me to Krovian space, you will be protected, respected." Alex's first instinct was to refuse. Earth was his home. But with the military branding him a traitor, home was no longer safe. Before he could decide, a sudden noise broke through the market. Heavy boots, shouts in human language. A squad of armed soldiers pushed through the crowd, their rifles scanning. The leader's voice rang out, "Alex Carter, you are under arrest for aiding the enemy." Cerise stood, placing herself between Alex and the soldiers, her claws flexed, her voice like steel. "They will not take you," she said. The tension in the air was razor-sharp, and Alex knew that, in the next few seconds, his choice would shape the rest of his life: stay and fight alongside Cirrus, or surrender and face human justice. Asterisk. Beyond imagination, the market froze. Every eye turned toward the human soldier facing a squad of his own kind. Alex Carter's hands tightened around his rifle. Cerise Varon stood in front of him, her armor gleaming under the dim station lights, her claws ready. The human commander raised his voice. "Step away from the alien, Carter. This is your last warning." Alex looked at the soldiers, then at Cerise. Her crimson eyes met his unflinching, unwavering. "You saved my life," she said softly. "Now I save yours." Before the soldiers could fire, Cerise moved. Her speed was blinding. She knocked, rifles aside, striking with precision. The station erupted into chaos as bystanders scattered. Alex fired a few warning shots to drive the soldiers back. Within moments, they were gone, leaving behind a trail of smoke and confusion. Breathing hard, Alex followed Cerise out a side exit into a dark docking bay. There, an alien shuttle waited, sleek and sharp like a predator. "Once you step aboard," she said, "you cannot return to your world as you knew it." Alex glanced back at the market, at the people who had once been his allies, then stepped into the shuttle. The door sealed with a hiss, and they launched into the black. Hours later, they emerged from hyperspace. Before them hung the Krovian capital, a massive world of glowing towers, shimmering bridges, and vast crystal spires that reached into the clouds. Alien ships swarmed the skies, their hulls reflecting the light of 3 nearby suns. Alex stared, awestruck. "This is beyond anything I imagined," he whispered. The shuttle descended toward a colossal palace carved from a single mountain of blue crystal. Inside, alien guards lined the halls, bowing as Cerise passed. They stared at Alex with curiosity and suspicion. Cerise led him into the Hall of Oaths, a chamber so large it could hold a warship. At its center stood a towering altar of black stone, glowing with ancient runes. Cerise turned to him, her voice carrying across the hall. "In the eyes of the Krovian Empire, the blood oath is sacred. Today, I repay it." She knelt before the altar, placing her hand on the stone. The runes flared bright crimson, and the sound of deep drums echoed through the chamber. She rose, facing her people, and declared, "This human, Alex Carter, is bloodkin to the house of Aaron. By my life and my honor, he is under my protection. His word carries my weight. His enemies are my enemies." The hall erupted in a chorus of alien voices, some in approval, others in anger. Alex felt the weight of what had just happened. He wasn't just safe. He now held a title that could sway armies, but power drew enemies. That night, in the palace halls, a group of Krovian nobles confronted him. "You do not belong here," one hissed, their eyes glowing with hostility. Before Alex could reply, Cerise stepped forward. "He has more right than any of you," she said coldly. "His blood flows in my veins. If you challenge him, you challenge me." The nobles backed away, but Alex knew this was only the first of many tests. Later, standing on a balcony overlooking the alien city, Cerise joined him. "You gave your blood without knowing who I was," she said quietly. "You risked everything for me." Alex looked at the shimmering skyline. "And you risked everything to bring me here," he replied. She smiled faintly, a rare warmth in her eyes. "Your blood saved my life, Alex. My life will change your world." As the suns dipped low and the city lights rose, Alex realized this was no longer just about survival. It was about shaping the future of two civilizations, and he was now at the very center of